Well, we finally made it back. We took a couple weeks off. Last week I was, what's the best way to put this? I wouldn't say depressed, but racing is humbling. I didn't have a great performance last week, and I just went to work in the shop and didn't focus on even any YouTube or anything like that. And I have those videos, they're coming, don't worry. But today is July 20th. Last night, July 19th, we ran Merrittville Speedway, 35 lap, normal race. We still have a second on our handicapping, so we didn't start near the front or anything, but we weren't buried too bad. Hot laps, we loaded decent. Like, I think we were fifth quick or something. It's just hot laps, but whatever. The track was nice. Heat race, rolled off fifth. Fired off good and battled with Pete pretty much the whole race. Ended up third, but doesn't matter where you finish in the heat. Just top five, getting your handicap. Feature, we rolled off 10th. And we fired off, and I didn't feel great. But I don't know if it was just the tires getting to temperature, or I was running the top of the speedway, and it gets dirty up there, and it actually does take laps to clean it off. And if you want to commit to it and go backwards, sometimes that's what you got to do. But I was trying to roll down off of it a lane, but it was just slicked off so much that I wasn't going anywhere. And a couple guys went by, I think 3, 4, almost 5 guys at one point. And then a few guys in front of me, 72, 96 there, buzzing the top, and I figured it was going to clean off real soon. So I went up there and we finished cleaning it off, and everything started to click. Went back by those guys that got by me. And then just 1 and 2, I was okay. 3 and 4, though, it was like lights out. Drive it in so hard, make up so much ground there, and then just try and be beside them for the flag stand so they didn't try and run you in the moat. In the video you'll see I did get run in the moat one time. I don't think it was intentional or anything, but sometimes it's tough to get out of there and get back on the track because they got it cut so much now that you get down in there and you try and get back up. You don't get back up right away. You dig in, and then it upsets the car so much. But no, we managed to get back up there, and I was following James Friesen through. We were just on the top picking him off, and then I think he was getting clogged up a little bit, and he tried to go to the bottom, and there was contact. I think they accordioned a little bit, and somebody drove into his left rear. I think the camera actually catches it. And then I think that caused the person who drove into him, I think it broke his front end, and then there was a pile up, turn 3 and 4. So we actually went red for, I want to say, over 10 minutes, but I edited that out. Don't worry, you don't have to sit through that. We fired back off after that 5th, and I'd just been buzzing the top the entire race now, so it was lap 15 or so, and I didn't really know what to do, how the bottom was going to be at all. I cranked a bunch of front brake into it because we have if you're not familiar, we have a balance bar, and you can adjust your front to rear brake ratio. I'm always all rear. But running the bottom, sometimes you need to stop straight, so you need to crank the front brake into it. And I cranked some front brake into it, and I nailed the corner. I think it was my best lap of the race on the bottom, but I felt better on the top. And we got to third, and then another quick yellow, and I had to start on the bottom again. And then I fired off on the bottom. I thought I was okay down there, but I just wasn't enough to get by second place. And I went back to the top. And when you got the front brake into it, it stopped you straight. Where on the top, I needed to kind of almost back into the corner to get the brakes to like flick the car, and I didn't have enough rear brake into it. And I was just a little too tight, and allowed 37 to get by me pretty easily. He didn't have to battle for it. I just kind of moved over out of the way for him. Quickly, just put rear brake back into it, and we got going again. I don't know. I chunked out a right rear really bad. I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but I just didn't fire off back real great on the top again. It took me a few laps to get going. I ended up changing my line in 1 and 2 a little bit and made up some more ground, and then I ended up catching Scott Wood, who was third at the time. And I kind of saw a lap car coming, and I didn't quite use him as a pick, but the lap car forced Scott to get out of his lane, and I was enough to get by him, and with a couple to go, and we crossed the line third. So it was a great night, especially after last week. What else can I say? These Hoosier tires, man. Last week I had if you're not familiar with these tires, they require like a heat cycle to fire. If you put a brand new one on, you think you're gonna go good. But if you don't heat cycle it properly, it doesn't grow, it just won't fire off. Especially at Merrittville where there's like no abrasion. And I put one on with 20 laps of heat cycle on it. We went out there and we were bad last week. So all I did this week was put on an older right rear tire that I've been running before, and that it brought the car back to life. So anybody wants to buy a right rear tire with, 60 laps on or so on it, I got one. But yeah, all we did was change that and the car was back to life again. So it sucks, especially with the price of Hoosiers these days. They're over $500 in Canada. And to put one on and struggle that bad as much as we did, it really puts a damper on everything. And then you're thinking all week, what's wrong with the race car? And it's all just the main piece of rubber that's on the right rear. And it's unfortunate, but that's part of it, I guess. Move on. But yeah, we had a great night. I didn't hit a single thing. I've been hitting a lot of things lately, and there was no damage, so it's going to be a pretty easy week. Just can focus on getting my tires, everything like that, and just go back next week. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the video. I will be posting the last few weeks. I think I missed 2 weeks. I'll get those up there, uploaded hopefully later today or through the week, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys.